Will it do the AI? Well, no, it's not going to do that, but will it do like a transcript for you still?
I'm hoping.
Please come to yourself and your address. I'll open the meeting with public comment at 7:06 p.m. Anybody like to address the board? Seeing none. Okay, there being no public comment at this point, I will close at 7:06. Okay, our first project this evening, we have a continued review and public hearing for a 4-lot minor subdivision at 199 Stone Church Road. Does the applicant or their agent have any further updates or comments for us?
Nothing new.
Nothing new? Okay. All right, then I will open the public hearing at 7:07 p.m. for a 4-lot minor subdivision at 199 Stone Church Road. Does anybody have any comments on the minor subdivision at 199 Stone Church Road? Great. Yes, you. Please state your name and your address.
Hello, Andrew Paroli.
I'm sorry, what's that?
Andrew Paroli. 180. It's the White House right across the street. I just wanted to show up tonight to say that I'm not opposed to this.
Great.
It's got given right based on the amount of acreage they own. Happy to see that they're expanding it. I also, your neighbors at 196 also intending to come with these, I believe, wasn't. Wants to get his support as well.
All right.
Yeah. So please support.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments? Any other comments at this point, please, Mona?
How you doing? Keith Leal, 607 Stone Church Road, neighbor for the Lehners. Yeah, so the first time Jeff subdivided, I bought one of his lots, so that happened, pretty old now. But really happy for them and their children. We're talking on the way in and all good. I wish you safe.
Okay, anybody else like to make a comment at this time? Okay, there being no further public comments, I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing at 7:08 p.m. Do I have a second? Or a motion?
Mr. Chairman, so.
John Little? A second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? There being none, please poll the board.
Mr. Marsicano,
Yes.
Miss Van Danza,
Yeah.
Mr. Whittle,
Yeah.
Mr. Fry,
Yeah.
Miss Marin,
Yes.
Miss Burkett, Mr. Burkett, so sorry.
Yeah.
Chairman Barto.
Yes. Okay, having completed our state environmental quality review act, and concluded that our public hearing and our review of the project on this application, I would, is the board prepared to make a decision on this? Okay, then I will entertain a motion to approve a 4-lot subdivision at 199 Stone Church Road. You all should have the resolution from our council at hand. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I do just want to point out, turning to the resolve, starting on page 2, that the minor subdivision satisfies the district schedule of area and bulk regulations set forward in section 188.6 and satisfies or will satisfy the standards within the stream corridor overlay district set forth in section 1829 of the Milton Town Code. And in particular, the planning board has determined that the minor subdivision will not result in the degradation of any scenic character, result in the erosion or stream or lake pollution, and will employ the best available best management practice. It further resolved that the planning board approves the minor subdivision set forth in the map entitled Lot Line Adjustment and Subdivision of portions of the land of Jeffrey F. and Laura L. Lehner as last revised on February 12, 2026. Somebody just check that, Matt, just make sure you're on that. And then finally, be it further resolved that the planning board's approval is conditioned as follows. To the extent that any land disturbance takes place within the stream corridor overlay district, it shall comply with the standards set forth in sections 154-18 and 180-29 of the town code, including that employment of best management practices identified by the town of Milton planning.
I'll make the motion and this stays the 12th.
Thank you very much. Okay, so that's very good. Do we have a second on the motion?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion or questions or anything?
The map I'm showing online shows 2025.
2025 is on my map.
Okay.
It was go. That's it was revised.
Okay, let's double check that to make sure it's February 12, 2026.
Up on top of the box. If you can see that up on the bottom.
Right. Yes, you see it, the box on top of the box is a smaller box, it says revisions. February 12, 2026. I have a bigger plaque here.
I
Yes, and
See, John?
I see it, yeah, it's on the, it's a box on top of the box. That's, yes.
Okay,
I don't usually see this box on top of the box.
That's okay.
And
good to check. Okay, so that's the plaque. We don't have to change them. Okay, so our motion still stands. Any other discussion or questions? There being none, please pull the board.
Mr. Marsicano,
Yes.
Miss Van Danza,
yes.
Mr. Whittle,
yes.
Mr. Fry,
Yes.
Miss Marin,
Yes.
Mr. Burkett,
Yes.
and Chairman Barto.
Yes. Thank you very much. Next we have 112 Columbia Avenue Extension, Masonic Lawns. An application we're going to be having a continued review and public hearing for a special use permit and a renewal, as well as an amendment. The applicant here and have any further updates or comments for us? Please come to the mic and introduce yourself.
My name is Jeff Curto, 950 MacArthur Drive, Ballston, stock. I'd like to make a quick statement since the clarification was submitted a few weeks ago. Good evening, members of the board. Good evening, members of the community. I am the trustee president of the Saratoga County Masonic Hall Association. Thanks for the opportunity to speak with them tonight, and for the thoughtful feedback you shared at our initial meeting. This clarification is provided in summary in response to the planning board feedback requesting a more clearly defined and specific scope of activities for consideration at tonight's public hearing. Over the past 3 years, we've taken the permit approval by letter as it was written, and we fully complied with all conditions of the permit, including operational limitations, site improvements, maintaining a low impact presence with the neighborhood, and our intention is to honor the same for requested amendments when approved. As a long-standing charitable and community-based organization, our presence in Saratoga County has been here for over 225 years. Our standing mission centers on service, education, and support for the broader community. We strive to ensure that our facility remains modest space that can occasionally benefit the local community in a thoughtful, carefully managed way. At its core, what we're asking for in this request is modest. Extension of hours of operation, extending hours from 9:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. to allow for the orderly conclusion of our regular meetings without increasing activity levels. Number two, limited non-member inclusion, which is invitation only participation, which would be limited to educational recognition, support, and our regular activities. These opportunities allow for us to remain connected to the community in a responsible and mission-aligned manner. Based on your feedback and as a matter of clarification of our request, we've made some important decisions. We are not requesting any food-based fundraising events on site. After thinking it through, we recognize that a fundraising event such as what we offered would be most successful with large numbers of participants. As such, those types of events tend to grow in size, and bigger events, while bringing more funds, could bring more traffic and activity. Out of respect for the neighborhood, we feel it's important to avoid that altogether, and instead we will partner with other venues for that type of fundraising. What we are proposing now is clearly limited. In terms of events, we offer the following expectations: as far as attendance, Masonic bodies, their families, and invited guests. For timing, early evening, or weekend daytime, early evening hours. The nature of meetings, low impact, quiet, and non-commercial. Regarding noise, it will remain as is, well below ordinance levels, and our traffic expectations will remain at current levels, commensurate with meeting attendance. Examples of event substance would include things like Boy Scout workshops, an explanation, small group participation, typical of local troop activities, hands-on leadership and skill building workshops, distinguished community service awards, invitation-based gatherings recognizing local community members for their contributions, a blood drive done by appointment only. Historically, this is limited to a few dozen donors over the course of several hours. Eagle Scout recognition ceremony, small gathering of families and community members recognizing their significant achievements. Historical lecture series, limited audience consistent with our meeting size and an intimate educational setting. Woodworking and craft workshop, very small hands-on instructional group, and high school scholarship award ceremony. Annual awarding of the Masonic scholarship recognizing the student and his or her invited family. All of these will be no larger than our typical meetings currently taking place. Over the last 3 years, we followed every condition of our permit, and we fully intend to continue to do that. Finally, we respectfully ask the board to consider, if it's appropriate, a longer-term approval, simply to provide some stability and alleviate the burden of the reapplication fee. With this modest request, we would avoid having to come back to the process too frequently, all the while continuing to demonstrate our responsible use of the property. At the end of the day, this request isn't about expansion and event growth. It's about small, thoughtful ways to contribute to the community while continuing our demonstration, maintaining the quiet character of the neighborhood. Thanks again for your time and consideration, and I'm happy to answer any questions or provide any additional context.
Okay. With that, I would like to open the public hearing at 7:18 PM. Is there anyone that would like to address the board with respect to this application? We're here to address the board on sign. Okay, if not, I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing at 7:19 PM.
Mr. Chairman, I second.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? There being none, please poll the board.
Mr. Marsicano,
Yes.
Miss Van Danza,
Yes.
Mr. Whittle,
Yes.
Mr. Fry,
Yeah.
Miss Marin,
Yes.
Mr. Burkett, Chairman Barto.
Yes. Does the board have any questions or comments regarding what's before us? And I would note that the council has provided us a resolution with some conditions for consideration. Specifically, I point to the second before it further resolved, the conditions of change with respect to it are on items 1 and 2. Where the hours of operation have been adjusted to suggest 10 PM. As well as the item 2, talking about change in the allowed uses being originally limited to only members and the functions of the Masonic Lodge and Order of Eastern Star, to include individual non-members participating in educational, recognition, charitable activities and invitation only, and that otherwise the general public is not permitted in public events and not. So that would be the changes in hours of operation and changes in activities that would be allowed there. So any discussion?
First off, I wanna thank you for being super sensitive to parents that aggravated had them raised previously. The one question I did have, I started asking, what is the building capacity? How many people?
I don't know the exact number regularly, but the fire occupancy rating is 80 or less. I think it's a small number,
Okay,
but the parking lot being the largest space, but pretty small building.
okay,
We've never really had more than 30, so it's hard to tell, but I think our fire rating is up to 80.
okay. All right, thank you.
Now, the one thing not addressed in here was the request for a longer term on the permit renewal. This resolution before you maintains the term of every 3 years. We could consider a different term. I would ask either the applicant or the board members, the applicant, what were you thinking about as a potential different term?
Mr. Chairman, thank you for the opportunity. I wasn't sure how it really worked, to be honest with you. I wasn't sure if it was arbitrary or standard for meters. If it will delay the process to another meeting, then people draw that request. I was thinking somewhere less than 10, 8 to 10 years. But I really don't know what the standard request would be, and I'd be moved to.
And we've typically done 3 or 5 years.
So, 5 years would be sufficient for us. And
5 years would be considered. You might have changed just this renewal to where we said special use permit to be renewed every 3 years, change it to 5 years. Well, that would be the only change to the resolution that would be proposed. It would be special permit must be renewed every 5 years.
I asked, it said every 3 years from 2023.
Because it went back to the original date.
Okay.
So should we change that from today's date? Instead of being from June 23 to April 8th? Okay. So we'll change that to special use must be renewed every 5 years from April 8th, 2026. We'll catch you. Thank you. Okay. Any other questions or comments from the board at this time? All right, so there being none, I would entertain a motion to renew the special use permit for the 112 Columbia Avenue extension for 5 more years. And amend it as noted in items 1 and 2 of the resolution to extend the time frame of hours of operation to any time to 10 p.m. and to allow an exception of other than members of the Masonic Lodge or Eastern Star, that individual non-members may participate in educational, recognition, and charitable activities by personal invitation only. Otherwise, the general public is not permitted. Public events are not.
Mr. Chairman, that's a word.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussions? There being none, please poll the board.
Mr. Marsicano,
Yes.
Miss Van Danza,
Yes.
Mr. Whittle,
Yeah.
Mr. Fry,
Yeah.
Miss Marin,
Yes.
Mr. Burkett,
Yeah.
Chairman Bartow.
Yes, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, next we have a new application before us for 2130 Doubleday Avenue, Ballston Carpet and Tile. I'm gonna deal with a few things that I apologize. I've seen that 2130 Doubleday Avenue. with dealing with the State Environmental Quality Review Act. I'd first like to acknowledge that this is an unlisted action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act. And have the Milton Planning Board declare itself as lead agency. So I will entertain a motion to declare the project as an unlisted action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act. And that the Town of Milton Planning Board declares itself as lead agency pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act. The motion. Motion. Please, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ray, any discussion? Please vote roll.
Mr. Marsicano,
Yes.
Ms. Van Denza,
Yes.
Mr. Whittle,
Yeah.
Mr. Fry,
Yeah.
Miss Marin,
Yes.
Mr. Burkert,
Yes.
Chairman Barto.
Yes. She will get better. Okay, was the applicant ready to have their series present?
And the public, the board, my name is Max Sargent, I'm a today. And our applicants. Question on traffic policy. And enterprises LLC, which is appointed also top with the tile site plan modification project. Board will review and comment. The site is sorry. The site is located at 2130 and 2128 Doubleday Ave, roughly 0.4 miles south of the intersection with North Line Road and just north of the boundary line with the village of Ballston Spa. The site is corridor mixed use or CMU district and consists of 5 parcels, all owned by the owner, Gaming Enterprises LLC. Next slide, please. Thank you. The total area of the 5 parcels is roughly 1.9 acres. There is also a 150-foot stream corridor protection overlay associated with the drainage ditch just north of the existing buildings that falls over the northern portion of the site. The site is serviced by private sewer and water and municipal gas and electric. The site is roughly 60% impervious, consisting of the existing Ballston carpet tile building and associated drive aisles and parking area, as well as the paved area associated with the recently demolished restaurant building at 2128 Doubleday Ave. Next slide, please. The project proposes the construction of a new 18,000 square foot retail and material storage building with associated parking and utility infrastructure to service the new building, as well as improve the parking facilities of the existing building. The proposed building and parking meet all setback requirements, thus no variance are being requested. Drive aisles meet the required 26-foot width per the town code and have been designed to meet international fire code, as well as a fire vehicle apparatus has been simulated driving through the site to ensure adequate access and maneuverability. The parking includes 45 parking stalls, including 3 accessible parking stalls to service both the existing and the proposed building. Both the existing and proposed buildings are split between retail and material storage. Material storage being the majority of the area, which does not require additional parking over and above the storage area staff. The owner has indicated that the parking demand for the existing facility is roughly 10 cars during peak hours, and of those 10 cars, roughly 3 to 4 are customers, which is significantly lower than the required parking outlined in the Town of Milton zoning code. The proposed building associated with the site plan modifications is similar in use to the existing, and the proposed parking area of 45 spaces is anticipated to adequately accommodate the existing Ballston carpet building as well as the new 15,000 square foot building. A special use application has been requested for the portion of the building and proposed parking that encroaches into the 150-foot stream corridor overlay. The area within the stream corridor overlay district that is being redeveloped is previously disturbed and paved under existing conditions.
The project also proposes the consolidation of 5 lots, 3 of which are island lots with no access to the street, to 2 new lots. Lot 1, more than one, will be roughly 0.89 acres and contain the existing Ballston carpet and tile building with associated parking. And lot 2 will be roughly 1 acre and contain the proposed new building. Both lots meet all the requirements of the schedule area and bulk regulations for the CMU zone, except for the front yard setback for the existing building, which is existing non-conforming. The proposed building will be serviced by private sewer and water and municipal gas and electricity, and stormwater will be controlled via on-site irrigation. The project has already gone through several iterations of review and revisions with the planning department, and we will continue to collaborate as well as welcome any and more comments from the board. And thank you, and I'm happy to answer questions you may have. Any questions?
I have a question. Can you describe for us what would occur if you don't get the waiver request?
For the parking, we would need to either adjust the layout of the building or adjust the breakup between retail and material storage. Within
Could you be more specific? And I'm just trying to understand, you're asking for a waiver, so what would you do if you didn't get it? Because you're giving us what you would do if you got it.
Yes.
Like, what would you do if you didn't get it?
I see, okay. So the proposed building right now has roughly 7,800 square feet is designated as retail, and the rest is designated as material storage. The total required spaces for that would be 69 if you go by the 1 per 175 square foot for the retail portion of it. If we do not get the waiver, we would look at decreasing the retail portion of the building to roughly half, which would accommodate all the spaces per the code.
Thank you.
Other comments?
Do you know again how many customers roughly you get throughout the day? And can that accommodate, the retail need?
So the existing Ballston apartment building, right now it gets roughly 10 cars during their peak hours. And as I mentioned, 2 to 3 of those are customer vehicles, and the rest, roughly 5 to 6 are employee personal vehicles.
Do we have something that shows us what the building looks like?
We do not have building right now. It's just.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. It's just a flat room. Cheap. I'll show you a picture of it.
Yeah. It's in by email. I'm not in control of the slides right now,
I'm gonna stop sharing for a second, just bear with me.
but smart TV could be through screen sharing.
We have to have a smart line.
Smart.
There we go.
And
You can email it.
I think it's. Yes. Just about movement and gentlemen. Yes. We email directly to.
Oh, you want surgery? It's not both.
Yes.
That's good. I just don't do it.
Say she does some activities. Put the program. I feel my kids picking on this art program. What are you talking about? There you go.
You can ask me again, because I thought you said do one, you're doing one lot, right?
There's lots,
Two lots.
are you gonna end up with two separate lots?
Correct. One with each of the buildings.
So how does your parking variance work, or Sophia, can you either of you explain how the parking? Because in his narrative, he says the code requires 45 spaces. But, and he's providing 45 spaces, so I don't know why he's variance.
So the first piece being, I misunderstood, I thought the 5 parcels were coming into one and not 2. So that for side yard, I think the biggest thing that would change there would be side yard setback requirements. Because our minimum acreage requirement and frontage is so limited for the CMU, so I don't think that they'll run into full requirement issues for that. In terms of the parking, that was something that I posed in my review. We have an off-street parking schedule for some uses, not all. As Max had indicated, that the retail had been clearly identified based on the breakdown of that square footage. But the aggregate or the combination of the uses on site, which in this case is classified as retail and then building material supply, would to the letter of the code require adding those 2 requirements for a total parking count. I will note that in the town center and in general planning practice, we are now kind of moving towards a little bit less parking if required. If we could demonstrate
I
that,
get it,
right?
get it.
If we could demonstrate that we have sufficient parking based on the uses and the unique business operations of peak hours, then I would support decreasing the amount of required parking. I don't know how much our parking schedule and off-street parking continues to reflect what individual businesses need. But from a procedural perspective, that was a question I had as well, because the town center does have a process that's very clearly defined for this. But the planning board may want to request more information from the applicant with regard to how those specific parking requirements are broken down by, I would suggest, employee versus customer. But that was my biggest, honestly, that was my question to the rest of the board as well. Because,
So I guess I see what he's doing now, he's doing 2 lots.
right,
I guess the first question that I would have is we want to verify that each lot results in a
zoning conforming.
conforming lot. Now,
Yeah, I'm
he's
not,
not gonna get conformance on the existing property, because he's not gonna meet the front yard setback.
so,
Because there's no way that building is grandfathered, get it, didn't get it? And I don't know what the boundary, you put in a lot line here, I don't know what that is relative, because I don't see a plat that shows me what the 5 lots are now.
the existing conditions.
If we go to slide number 2.
That one there.
Yeah, so the 5.
We don't have that slide, that
Ah,
plat.
I got this from the so parcel on TV. So 5 lots that make up are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The existing lot containing the Ballston carpet building does not have any parking or drive aisle with as it is today, so we'll be improving that condition. And then
Well, it's got, it's definitely driving.
you can, but with the 12-foot parking setback, those parking spaces don't meet code.
Yeah.
As it stands today. So we'll be consolidating these 5 lots, and then if you go to the next slide. That's where it is version. And then we'll be proposing a new lot line.
Yeah.
Which divides the lot 1 versus lot 2.
Yeah.
And each lot would meet the setback.
So now you know when you create, as a result of, if lot 1's the one to the north.
Yes,
Is this to go? Clearly, that building's not gonna meet the front yard setback, but it's an existing
It's
building.
pre-existing non-conforming.
Yeah,
yes,
it's meeting the 12 and 12, and it's probably meeting the 25 yard back. Awesome.
awesome.
Now you come to the lot 2. You didn't mark it on here, but I'm assuming the building's meeting the 75-foot front yard setbacks.
Yes, sir.
You're probably just making the 12 and 12,
Yes, sir.
because you didn't mark those. But yes, you did. Well, I guess you did. It must be 12 and a half, I think.
If we go to the,
I don't have marked clearly yet, but I'm assuming you're gonna meet 12. Now, on the back, where's your 25 foot? Is that at the narrowest piece?
so we have, the narrowest piece over there, including taking into account the full building overhangs. The backyard setback line, building needs
The 25 foot.
25,
Here we go.
12, correct, sorry.
I just wanna make sure that there is getting that. Now, you do that, then you gotta meet the parking requirements for each building separately. You can't meet them combined. Cause bottom line is now we got two lots, you could sell off the building to the north or the building to the south, they could become a different use someday.
If I may, I would like to refer to section 180-25B3, which states that in the case of a combination of uses on a single parcel, the requirement for off-street parking spaces shall be the sum of the requirements for the various individual uses, unless it can be established by the applicant to the satisfaction of the staggered hours of use would permit reduction of this requirement. I believe that the other code, I think there's also.
But just back up, you said if it's on a single parcel.
Combination of uses on a single parcel.
I think, so he's got two parcels.
Understood. If I may, I would suggest that the board potentially look at opportunities for shared parking.
I get it, he's gotta put some.
as a planner, I would-
restrictions.
We-
I'm all
we need
for
some
that.
Language if we're gonna do.
I'm all for that, but I wanna know that somehow at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Depending, I mean, he could say, oh, my north building's gonna be nothing but storage, I'm gonna keep all my carpets and tiles there. That works for now, but if all of a sudden someday he says, oh, I'm gonna sell it, I'm gonna put a restaurant in there.
Mhm.
We only got 45 spaces between two buildings
Mhm.
that we could have way higher than.
And I would suggest that that would be the planning board's burden at the time of the review of that new tenant, only because at this point in time, you know that this is the
Yeah.
existing use. Parking requirements can change based on the change of tenancy and the new
Agreed.
uses, so that
Agreed.
formula will change as well. Based on the concept and where we are now, it would be my advice to the board that they might request that the applicant provide just the market breakdown in terms of their parking requirements. And if we can distinguish between what would be on proposed lot number 1 versus 2, as well as potential strategy for shared access or maintenance because you have a common owner. I know that it's challenging from a planning perspective, but this would be the first time that we'd be dealing with restrictions or
Totally hear you, I totally
Right.
hear you, and I work, because like he's got room on the backside of the existing building. But it's way inside the street corridor overlay
Right.
district, so if let's say a future use came in, so, oh, put something back there.
Mhm.
For a surface in, that would help that new use get more parking.
Mhm.
I just don't know if it's gonna meet, are we granting a waiver that's gonna help meet that, are we gonna have to revisit that?
Mhm.
All that, I get it all, but I know we've gotta think about it now, because we don't wanna paint a picture that's gonna leave us with a lemon of a building.
May I ask a question? Is it critical to the development of the plan that the two lots remain separate or because I had misunderstood, I thought the 5 lots were becoming one. Is it critical to the establishment of the site plan that they be on 2 separate lots?
No, they're all in one.
Well,
It's just a question, yeah, just a question.
That's preferred. We could put them all in, if that's what you think that it's best, but
it may serve you better in a meeting area and bulk requirement.
Sure.
To help accommodate that, it certainly helps us. On the other hand, it does hurt you in the future, you say, I don't need all that square footage,
If you decide to sell it, it would be harder to.
it's gonna be harder to subdivide it later.
yeah, I wouldn't do that. I just would, I could use it for whatever purposes in the business or however.
I mean, I'm not against you trying to create 2 lots here, don't misjudge that, I just wanna know that if we're creating 2 lots. We're not creating a non-conforming lot.
Right.
So you said, you gotta think about shared parking, sure, think about where snow removal is gonna go. Because you don't have a lot of snow removal capacity on the southern lot, you're probably gonna look, say, I gotta move it all to the back of the northern lot. But those are things you should think through.
Sure, I have, yeah. Not selling it off and then the back.
No, but if you make it all one lot, you're gonna be stuck on one lot. Huge.
Okay, I got you. And will that be the requirement with the board that I do that in order to build this building? now?
No, we're just gonna weigh that, and okay, how do we make sure that the existing and potential future uses of that building can meet parking area requirements?
Okay.
And you can, like,
Sure.
so you said, that'll be a constraint on the future use of that
Sure.
building.
Well, what you can do is you could do a shared parking arrangement.
Sure.
You share parking between the two.
And I would
you
do
put
that.
Comes a deed restriction in it, so the future owners, who may not be used, two different owners.
Okay,
And
yeah.
then all of a sudden they can't say, oh, I'm gonna fence up here, you can't come into my
Yeah,
space.
Okay, yeah, no,
You know,
yeah.
you gotta think that through.
Right, sure.
But she's right, that's how we're gonna deal with higher density developments. And yet it's crazy to build all this parking. We often overbuild parking, and that
Okay.
creates more impervious surfaces than we have.
Right.
Right next to a stream, now we're.
Right.
Right.
We haven't even talked about, can we get pervious surfaces yet, but, you know, what do we do in making those decisions? And so that's for you to think.
Okay.
We got other things.
Sure.
I had another question in regards to the building. Is there a reason why you put the building to the back and not to the front?
For the setback.
That's setback.
5 foot setback.
5 foot setback.
Right.
We'd love it to be up front.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like it to be up further, but I don't wanna, I wanna make it as
They've driven the building back on the direction of staff when they were consulting.
Yeah, I understand.
So they have to use anything closer to the street would require variances, and we generally advise applicants to meet the zoning code as it states versus.
just a lot of people this for on there,
Yeah.
you know?
Now, the other thing is looking at the commercial mixed use development, I would say there's requirements for street trees, sidewalks and lighting. I get it's not there now. We need to think through, do we ask you to put those in now? Then we got sidewalks to nowhere. We don't know what, if you look at that, somebody should make available. I tried to find it on the website, I couldn't, but we should make it available to the board members, maybe you too, to look at that Route 50 corridor
Yes,
enhancement study again. Did envision a boulevard out in front of your store,
okay,
in which case 2 curb cuts may not be necessary. If that's in front of your store, you may not be able to make a left turn out,
okay,
or a northbound right turn in.
okay,
You know what I'm saying, or southbound left turn in. I don't know where those are, and by no means has DOT even thought that through yet.
right.
So to have you install those things today.
Yeah,
Doesn't make a lot of sense, if we're just gonna turn around and say, oh, we want you to move your curb cuts.
yeah,
Oh, that's new sidewalks, and to put curbing out there,
Sure.
DOT's gonna flip out.
Yeah.
Say, put curbs out there, we're gonna know it, there's no curbs anywhere else on Mill 50 either.
no,
So we gotta think through, do we ask you to contribute to a eventual sidewalk curb, tree improvement funds?
sure,
What do we do now? Cause that's in our codes, we
Sure.
require those to be done. And how do we do that in the future, now or in the future? So we gotta think that through in a minute.
That was done with students.
There was a little bit, but this CMU district wasn't in place, and we had a fund that they contributed to, and they've got a roundabout coming out in front of them. I
right,
don't know how much the state's gonna pay versus whatnot. But that's gonna all start happening, and it happened here in the town center. Sure. Because the hodgepodge, then we got a grant, we got some of paid for. We should still let them happen here. So we need to talk to the town board about how they wanna do that.
sure,
So that's something over the next few weeks, we have to get to you and advise you on, but we're gonna definitely want some room and a dedicated easement in the front to say, hey, I know that there's gotta be room for a sidewalk, street trees and lighting here, right, at some point in the future. And whether we ask you to put money aside in the future towards that, we'll let you know. We gotta figure out how to do that.
Those things were also easements and insurances.
Yes. And then You had mentioned, and I think there was some conflicting language in some of the correspondence, there's on-site sewer here,
Yes, sir.
and on-site water. Now, there is a water line,
Across the street.
it is across the street.
Yeah,
I don't know what, I didn't know.
we're looking, I've already applied for it. We're looking to access that.
Okay,
Point going across.
our preference would be if you can get there, do it.
Okay,
It's a big road, I get it.
yeah. That's.
It's a big road. I mean, we are as a town, likely gonna wanna see a water district in that area.
Sure,
At some point.
yes,
It was unbeknownst to us that the village went that far with water.
yeah, they went right across the street, but, what about the sewer? Is that something that, Milton is gonna?
Right now, I don't know of any sewer in that area.
Up in the back.
It would be ideal, honestly, if the type of development that is envisioned down there. Or the commercial types of uses that are envisioned in that area. Have sewer would be
Yeah,
super ideal. I don't even think the village probably goes up to CBS, right?
Has to be.
Does it go to Ocean State?
Well, doesn't
That's the
the
village line.
Iron Spring have a sewer line that comes in and comes to the back?
Yes.
Back through the wetlands into their
Water,
property?
that's water or sewer.
I think it's both.
there's sewer over the.
Yeah.
There, yeah.
Because it goes back.
If the starts with the strange.
They don't go as far as Boston.
No. What is Stewart's on there?
I don't know.
I think they're on a septic.
I don't know. We can find that out,
Absolutely.
but
Well, I'll ask.
you can find out.
Yeah.
That's how we found out there was water there from. But yes, it would be, in the long run, it's more advantageous to be municipal services deposits. I don't know what it costs to build under the road, as
Find out.
beautiful.
Sell more flooring.
Yes.
Anybody interested? You start-
Well, no, and when that happens, you tap in, that's gonna put pressure on the town. Because the village can only do so much service outside the village
Okay.
before the town has to create a water district. So.
You mind me passing out my card to the board just to try to generate some of these funds?
We don't have any, we don't have any funds,
Well,
but no, we're happy to talk to you about it, should we get you whatever information you need.
wonderful.
Our intent is not to drive you bankrupt. But no, we'll get you that study, this commercial machine, commercial. Net photo enhancement study, that you can see. What the vision is. Did you notify them about the escrow for the engineering work?
They've already established an account, so they
So our
are,
engineer is gonna start looking at this. My guess is she's gonna want to see the next phase of the. Site plan review. Have you gone over with them everything they need to complete the site plan review documents?
I believe that they've got the site plan submission requirements in hand thus far. They've been quite on track with what their application requirements are, and so I trust in the.
And I noticed the application form they had didn't have the full check.
Correct, because at this point, it's still relatively concept, I think, not to put words in your mouth, but I believe that they were awaiting feedback in order to continue to invest in the engineering design of the site, so.
Right.
Based on the feedback that we established tonight and any other, debriefs we have at this point, we would anticipate engineered plans to support all the calculations that you provided with regard to site circulation, fire apparatus, and all those details and pieces.
Have we gotten anything from EMS as to what fire access or anything that they would want? Cause
Not yet.
We can
So
get that
we'd
going.
be happy to solicit a comment letter fired or a letter from our fire company. That's the
That
big
would
work.
be- worth getting, just to make sure that curb cuts department, we're gonna. I don't even, there's probably not any fire hydrants out there.
There's one across the street.
There's one. Good to know. That's how you know there's water.
That's why there's water, because
We'll run the water over.
That's good for your insurance, good for your insurance, then.
Yeah,
Any other comments from the board? I mean, if it's useful, we're happy to sit down. and do a more detailed scoping thing if you've got questions. I'd rather, when you, next time you come back, you have as complete an application as possible.
Yes.
You know, even if we have to get our engineer to come and say, I wanna see this, and this.
Yeah.
To make sure.
Yeah, we just wanted to make sure we didn't have any wholesale changes before we started putting everything,
Think about whether you want 2 lots or 1. It doesn't matter to us, other than you think we through the parking. And then-
On the other side of the northern building there, is any of that, is any of that available for parking or is it inside?
this is all, this area over here.
Yeah.
This is all within that 150-foot street corridor.
Yeah, well, whole building's in that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
But we would just be encroaching closer to that drainage ditch with more impervious if we were to do that.
How big is that street?
is,
What is,
Unnamed stream, I couldn't find any specifics on it, but I can follow up and check.
and
if
that,
you got something that can show it to us, and then what's beyond that? I mean, is it the vet that's right next door? Or is it
Yeah.
Clayton Homes?
No, the dog place there.
Oh,
Yeah, dog room and,
Pampered
Yeah.
Pooch.
and
The
then,
Pamper Pooch,
yeah,
that
pamper
plaza.
and then, right.
that little plaza, that brown plaza, right?
Not much, there's not much there.
And then is that an active stream? Does it dump down?
It goes down through, it goes down through and to the back.
What's that's doing, draining everything that's.
Yeah, it's all the stuff coming up from the other side.
Perfect ditch.
Yeah, the ditch.
Not like an active stream.
Yeah.
No, but it's taking a lot of moisture that's on the other side of Route 50 and moving
Yeah.
through. Because I'm thinking in my head that if you needed to deal with parking, to put pervious parking around at least the eastern side of that building.
Sure.
And even if you didn't build it now, but to indicate a
Yeah.
parking expanded, doing a pervious parking space there.
If I may ask the board a question, has the board previously considered another site plans or precedent for banked parking?
You mean banked.
So just like you had indicated, identifying the area for potential future parking expansion such that the applicant can pursue that and establish that at the time that the need warrants it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, is you do it, but make it pervious and say, it's, we know we're in the stream corridor, we wanna do it, we want our waiver to cover this. It's gonna be your snow storage, if anything.
Sure. So could we make that back side of the building a porous pavement or banked porous pavement?
Well, you could present that.
Sure. Present it, I would rather us look at it and have our engineer look at it and say, how do we rationalize that, given the, well, stream? But if we can deal with it in the waiver, it's gonna, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna solve it for something in the future.
Right.
And at least we made the statement that we're banking it, we realize that that might be something, should that use ever change? I mean, you get a bang up, you got a bigger retail space you need. More traffic, and great.
Yeah.
Or if you sold it. Something that you can say to the prospective owner, you've got more parking here, I got limited 50 spaces.
Right, sure.
We can definitely take a look at that. There is a bit of grade that slopes off towards.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
not knowing that, I
It
don't know.
drops down there and goes to the,
Yeah,
is the auction thing exactly right behind you, or is it?
That's to Saratoga Avenue.
Right.
Yeah, those are residents.
those are residents.
Residents, yes.
They're gonna wanna know that there's not gonna be a lot of waiting, so whatever you do for back there.
Right, yeah, there's not a lot of light.
Security lighting, everything you do as much dark, we prefer dark sky lighting.
Yeah, there's not anything back there, there's no need for that.
Is that thing labeled, that drainage ditch labeled just a drainage ditch, or is it actually a stream or actually labeled as anything of that?
I think it's a
Goes up
ditch.
from that.
Yeah,
I would like to note that the applicants done their due diligence pursuing a jurisdictional determination of DEC, and they've received 5 letters of no impact and no adjacent regulated areas for the site.
And no wetlands.
Correct. No wetlands, no regulated areas.
But did they recognize it as a stream?
We'll see.
Well, this was just for the wetland, but I don't know what DEC determined, but
I think it is a map stream in our.
I think that's what Brent
It's not
said.
trout.
Yeah, it's part of this, it's part of the Mount Stream Corridor Overlay District within our, buffer within the zoning map. But DEC has cleared this site of any things under adjacent.
And they just have the wetlands.
Yeah.
Yeah, the window.
Well, it's.
It's.
Yes, he's totally gone now. It's some.
Okay, so do you think you got enough direction from us?
I believe so. The one question I did have regarding the guard lot for 50. The 15-foot easement that would be on the property, I'm assuming, even though there is quite a bit of space.
We'd have to get you that study, because it's definitely outside the right.
Okay.
I mean, DOT was pretty clear about that, but the standards in the study and standards in our own zoning code talk about what distance of right of way needs to be achieved there. So yes. Now, it doesn't cut away from your setback though. It's not like it makes your building have to go further back. It's part of the 75 feet.
Yeah, you don't have to go further back from.
Okay.
Can we push it back into the right of way and make DOT pay for it?
No, yes, they were pretty clear about that.
Did you see a picture of the building?
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
Not yet.
Oh,
You brought it up, it's a very tiny. Looks very nice.
Oh, it's either that or a pizza store.
Wow. Nice slotted glass on the front.
Yeah. Look nice in Milton, town Milton.
yeah. Yeah, I'll talk to you about it. He's our architectural
Oh, yeah.
style. Shit. But no, we appreciate it. And like I said, if it would be helpful, to have a session on it over the next few weeks to just go deeper. I'm happy to share them. If they'd like to come back and have a full set of plans, we've got them. Our engineers getting their input, you could then meet again. Set a public hearing, so. But I don't want to meet again just to send you back to an email.
Sure. Thank you.
Just
And as late as we can get.
Yeah.
If there's a few things that need to be cleaned up, questions that need to be answered, or we're ready to go hearing and have full drawings from doing.
Sure.
Times money.
If I may just summarize, make sure I've got my
Yeah.
for what is expressed. Language regarding shared parking and preferably a one lot solution to manage that a bit better. And then the boulevard / 50 improvements, taking a look at that plan and addressing those as we find. And then just more information on the street, more detail on that as to its classification and whatever else you can find. That is summary of what the board.
Yeah, we'll want to see more of the details of the site layout,
Yes.
the drainage, and our engineer's gonna have a whole bunch of those things in mind. You're really close to that 1 acre disturbance, so they're gonna be wanting to deal with that. The whole issue of the water and onsite septic. So if you're connecting to the municipal water or not, what is it? They're gonna wanna know the septic system. The engineer's gonna wanna know what is the septic system that you're gonna use, is gonna meet the capacity. For the amount of, I have no idea how they calculate septic usage of a commercial building. But we're gonna wanna know what's the current system. What's the capacity, is it gonna be able to meet it? But all that, We're gonna have a whole host of things on that. We're gonna wanna see the architectural renderings of the building, the signage components, the lighting, you know, like I said, we looked at dark skies lighting. You know, as much of that as we can possibly get. I forget the kind of lighting on the sign that Don was used. What was that?
Who's that?
No, the vast background lighting.
Backward.
We can get you the details.
I think they call it below.
Halo
Below
lighting.
lighting.
But
And then the EMS circulation.
the EMS circulation, we'll get something, but they're gonna wanna see the details of the plan.
Yeah.
Check your turning radius and being able to get in and out of there. It didn't look bad, but that's what they were.
Ran the Ballston Spa fire ladder through there and it's about
Okay, pretty well. That and Sophia, Bill Lewis can connect you with that, I'm sure.
great. Thank you very much.
And if you talk to the fire department. they probably-
And then that whole idea of the pervious parking, if you wanna do that reserved parking,
The knock
So-
box.
Yeah,
And you said one lot, don't think, if you wanna keep it two lots.
Yep.
Fine, but help us think through, what if one lot gets sold off in the future, how do we help you parking? On that. I'm not opposed to two lots. Very simple question.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. All right, is there any other business before the board this evening? And if not, I'll
we had
entertain-
one for.
I'd like to ask a question.
Absolutely. Yes, please, Mom, sorry.
Ready to
And go.
He was going.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm Richard Stray, 105 Columbia Ave Extension.
Yes,
I didn't have any comments on the variance for the Masonic Lodge, but I do have a concern with my neighbor on Malta Avenue, Wayne Irwin. He has accumulated a large amount of gravel from the Key West construction project for the power line.
okay.
And last week he did one of the vibrating screening to start screening the gravel. And it's vibrating my house.
So with that, I would encourage you to lodge a complaint with the code enforcement office.
Okay,
That would be with Bill Lewis.
Okay.
The number, or she's. Call Amanda.
if you could give me your contact information.
Absolutely. This, you can.
I haven't talked to the other neighbors yet, but I'm
Nope.
assuming their houses are rattling. too.
No, that.
I used to look at a patch of woods, I now look at piles of gravel, and the thoughts of my house shaking is not okay.
That's okay. That's perfectly fine, but that would be when you would.
Okay.
go for that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there any other business? If not, I will entertain a motion to adjourn at 8:08 P.M.
Also move.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
If you guys are